My guest is none other than Becky LeJune. And I'm saying that right. Yeah, Becky LeJune?
Yep.
I felt really confident about the Becky part.
That's okay. I am Cajun. It's a Cajun name. It actually translates into French into the young. But where I'm from, it's actually pronounced LeJeune. And I gave up that fight around like 5th grade because there's no R in it. So constantly like correcting people's pronunciation of it. I actually felt bad because there's a military base, obviously named after the same name. And someone had done a piece a while back on just how to pronounce it and the fact that it's not actually pronounced LeJeune, it's pronounced LeJeune, and that we, you know, should pay homage to the person that it's named after by pronouncing the name correctly. And I was like, oh, this is a really interesting piece, but I'm part of the problem because it's my last name and I'm mispronouncing it on purpose.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Louisiana. I'm from a small town called Lake Charles. Not super small, but small enough. It's about an hour from the border of Texas. And my husband and I are both from there. People usually comment that we don't have an accent, so I like to say that the accent from Texas and the accent from actual Cajun country just kind of cancels out. So
So how'd you end up in, are you in Denver or near Denver?
Yeah, my mother-in-law probably regrets having taken her family on a family vacation to Colorado one year. When my husband and I met, we went to the same high school. We had some of the same friends. We went to the same college, but we didn't actually know each other until he started working at the bookstore that I was working at. And he told me from the minute that we started dating, when I graduate, I'm moving to Colorado. So I had already graduated, and I was I had done some interviews with some publishers in New York. And then I just kind of decided, well, you know, I can do what I'm doing in Louisiana just as well in Colorado, so I'll go too.
Nice. I was just thinking that sounds perfect. If you've got somebody that you kind of went to high school with, so you have shared history there, but they didn't know all the dumb things you did as a teenager.
That's more my benefit than his. I didn't do anything dumb as a teenager. He did.
Well, I was honest. I was projecting my own dumb teenage behavior. So, talking about what you represent, I know that when we this is a little unusual, esteemed audience, because we had a wonderful conversation at this year's StokerCon. It was you and I and 2 other wonderful writers, and we were able to just bend your ear for a good hour, I think, maybe a little bit over. And I thought, man, this is a wonderful podcast. I wish we had recorded it. So we got to get it back together. We got to make it official. But you had said that you are not interested in middle grade so much as young adult. Is that still true, or is middle grade one of those that maybe we could write an amazing middle grade novel that would change your mind?
Yeah, so I'm not opposed to covering middle grade. I have a 2-year-old, so before having a 2-year-old, I didn't represent picture books. I don't actually put it out there that I do represent picture books, but I have a picture book on my list. So, you know, when it comes to agents, you really want somebody who knows that market. I just don't know the middle grade market as much as I know the YA market. A lot of the editors who are acquiring middle grade are the same editors who are acquiring young adult. In terms of sort of style and tone and content, I would say that I'm more comfortable with upper middle grade. But no, I'm not opposed to covering middle grade. It's just one of those things that I have more experience with YA, so I'm more comfortable in that space. But yeah, you know, you mentioned that we met at StokerCon, and horror is something that I'm really passionate about. So probably if a middle grade was really going to catch my attention, it would probably be a horror novel. And that I am very comfortable with because obviously I'm a horror fan, and I've been reading horror for an embarrassingly long time now. So yeah, it's not, I don't have a lot on my list, but it's not something that I'm not interested in, if that makes sense.